Welcome back to some more Through the Ages with me, Daniel from Dan Has Fun. Hopefully you enjoyed these couple of different videos out there. If it's something you guys like to see, maybe we'll play it more often too. Age 3. I think we're doing pretty well. We lost our swordsman, not relevant. Red lost Leonardo da Vinci and theology. I'm sure they care more about the former than the latter. Let's see where we're at. Well, Red just beat Yellow up some more, so their happiness has taken a heck of a pounding, losing all their churches and cathedrals and temples. That's the word I'm looking for. We have the second strongest army. We have the most culture right now, but we're not producing the most. They picked up bark, so they're now pulling out 13 culture a turn. Helps that they have 3 theatres under their drama tech. We're still rocking despotism, which is terrible, but at least we have the opportunity to not do that this turn, thank goodness. It's taken long enough. We can't attack red militarily. We probably can't do anything to blue either. It'd only be yellow. Yellow is just absolutely done at this point. So really the question is, do we want to plunder them for resources, or do we want to play a card instead? I don't think we'll do very well for arms industry. What about civil unrest? We would have no issues with that, but unfortunately nor would our opponents, so... Sorry, Yellow, we're just going to beat you up some more. And what do we want to take? We have a choice of up to 5 of anything between their food and production. We're probably going to want to take the food in this case, so let's do that. And go... Well, do we want constitutional monarchy or do we want republic? I'm going to say we take constitutional monarchy. It's more balanced and it's one civic action less to take right now. So at least we have some pips to do things with right at this point. We can't quite afford opera though if we do that. Tell you what then, let's take republic instead because we can afford both. Just. Let's get of our teeth. Then we'll do 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. So we're up pumping 14 culture out now. And we're not going to have corruption, which is amazing. I think that's a pretty tasty turn. Our real downfall is our horrible lack of science production. Which, I mean, we could take breakthrough and help with that, but I don't think that's that fantastic. I think this is what we have to do. We're going to have to eat that we're not going to produce a lot of science. We could generate a new tactic bonus. Do we want to do this? It would put us up to 16, but then we wouldn't draw any cards. Yeah, tell you what, we'll do that. Makes us the strongest for the small amount of cards that is pertinent for. Yellow could at least survive against blue, so we didn't get beaten up by all 3 parties, just 2 of us. That's a good pact for them. They produce less culture, but they're not going to get curb stomped quite as badly. Okay, freedom of movement. Do we want to move anything anywhere else? I'm thinking we move something from iron to opera, I think, because we don't need quite this much production. So let's move from... Take from iron, move to, where is it? Opera. There we go. So we've sacrificed a couple of production, but we're going to get even more culture that way. Now we're going to go civil unrest. And, I mean, that's not really what we wanted to see. But, you know, it is what it is. So our major issue is going to be we don't produce any science. Really of any kind whatsoever. And Winston Churchill only produces you science for developing military technology, so that's not that helpful. Revolutionary idea just gives us 6. We're going to take that. We can't use it this turn, but we do want to take it. We're going to go 1, 2, get 2 population. And then in terms of our options on the table, we can't use scientific method. But we can pump another population into our library for another science. That gives us 7 next turn. Plus 6, that's 13. which should be enough to preferably pick up computer tech if it shows up. Oil's not terrible, but I don't think it's that high a priority for us. A food tech would be pretty useful as well, I would suggest, but I don't see any of that on the table either. Manhattan Project would be interesting. It wouldn't give us a lot of culture, but it would give us 13 combat strength, which is obviously very good. We should probably do something, though, to deal with our military, because we aren't exactly pumping out tons of that right now. So we could do professional sport. We can't play it, though, this turn. Next turn we could, and that would allow us to increase our arenas to something significantly more powerful. And it would give us unlimited happiness, practically, as well. I think Winston Churchill impacts that. I think. If I wanted to take oil, though, I should do it now, but I don't think we do. I think we do take... So what we do then, let's do this around. Winston, do that. We're going to score... We could score 3 culture this turn, or we could just gain the military bonus. If we did that, we still can't afford to get tanks, though. So I think we'll just cash the 3 culture. Grab this anyway, or unless we want to grab tanks. No, I think we grab this, because we don't have the population to support tanks right now. That would put us in a tie. But that's not that useful. But then again, what are we going to do? We don't have any civic actions. So I think we do that, just to make sure we don't lose ties with yellow. Crazy that we went from the strongest to practically the weakest militarily in one go. And because of all of our happy faces, we get 8 food. That's a beautiful event for us to get. That's not good for us. Yellow's just boosted red strength by 3. That's terrifying. But they... Okay, so they declared war on blue, which is interesting. But it is for culture. Yeah, red's really pulling out a lot of culture. They are definitely our rival in this for the win. If we war over culture, we can't build anything. So that's probably not the way to go. We also don't... Well... Red doesn't pump out much science anymore, does it? Okay, then we'll play War Impact of Science. We don't have any discontented workers. Sorry, Yellow, just kicking them some more while they're down. Poor them. There's mechanized in agriculture. That's what produces a lot of food. But it's 7 by itself. So if we took mechanized agriculture, we could develop it, but we couldn't develop anything else. We also want space flight, definitely. So if we take this, if we also took this, then we can't afford to play it this turn if we wouldn't have any civic actions. We could theoretically do that, but we still have horrible corruption issues, so we're clearly not going to take space flight, as much as we want to. We'll do this instead. Get a population. Do that, do that. So that gives us plus 7 food a turn. And then really the question is, do we want to go... Well, we don't want to go engineering. It's not worth doing. We just don't have enough science for it. This is 6. It would give us 10, so we couldn't afford to do that next turn. We could do movies next turn. Unless we wanted to do this and that. And then we still have an idle worker, which we could then pump into our military. So again, we don't lose ties. Do we want to do this turn? Probably not. So we'll just get the 3 culture, please. I'm worried about being attacked, because yes, we do have a card that protects us, but if they attacked us, we can't do anything about it, because this would be 4, 5, 6 defense. They would still beat us. So it's a little bit concerning. But that's why we need professional sports. That will protect us. We didn't work on the Red Cross, which I'm fine with. So I don't know who has the Red Cross right now. Is it red? So with the Red Cross, yeah, other players can work on it. I don't think that's that important. I think we're just going to skip it and say, nope, we're not working on the Red Cross. It's a weird wonder that works based on food. And we need our food right now for other reasons. Oh, 6 bonus science. We'll take that. Absolutely. That's a great outcome for us. Dog's so excited, he's going nuts upstairs. I'm sure it's not for this reason. Okay. Yeah, Red stole 11 culture. Historic territory. I am willing, I think, to bid 4 on that. But I don't want to bid more, so I'm not going to. Wow, Blue really wanted that. I'm glad I didn't get involved. They had a lot of combat cards they burned. That's almost quite impressive. How much culture are they producing? 8. 8! I don't want to declare war over culture on them because I need... Well, no, I don't even need to develop military tech specifically, do I? I don't want to play arms industry, so I guess I will do this just because I can. So, first thing we need to do, get professional sports out there. Ooh, multimedia's here too. We definitely want that as well. Beautiful. And what we want to do is we want to upgrade. So that puts our combat at 26. Do that to get multimedia. There's no wonder in here we want anyway, so that's fine. Do 1, 2. So now we have 2 of our top-end libraries in multimedia. We're pumping out 22 culture, which is enormous. Score 3 culture for me, please, Winston. I think that's pretty tasty. We're still not the strongest militarily, but we're awful close. Although on this occasion, we might want to build the Red Cross. So if we do that, we would have to do this instead. Yeah, we'll do that. It gives them 8, but it means that they don't get the bonus of building it on top. And we still don't have any corruption. Okay. That works for me. But then next turn, it's pretty much going to be an upgrade-centric turn. Oh, that's rude. Yeah, so terrorism. The civilization with the least culture destroys an urban building from each civ. And they blew up something that cost me military strength. So that is very annoying. They almost never do that. And on this occasion, it means we're going to lose that war. That's rude. And because of that, we also can't defend against this without using all of our cards, which we're going to have to do. Yikes. Okay, well, we know what our next turn plan is going to be. That was pretty terrible. So we lose 17 culture for that. We can't do any politics. Okay, so plan for action here is... I'd love to do movies, but we can't do that right now. We want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have more combat strength. Then we have to do 1 in there, so we're up to 30 combat strength. Do it again, get it up to 34 so they can't attack us. Oh no, tell you what, we'll do it the other way around. Because we have so much extra, I don't need to do that. Please don't use his ability. And then we'll put this other one in... Do I even want to do that? No, I would say we're going to do an upgrade instead. It's not really how I wanted to do this turn, because it means I can't use movies, which sucks. But But now it means we can't get attacked either, so we'll have to kind of deal with it. Upgrade our culture. So now we're the strongest by the skin of our teeth. Not how I wanted to do it, but we have an absolutely astonishing amount of happiness. So at least there's that. Yeah. Inconvenient that they took out our, combat urban building of all things. But we are producing the most science. So a lot of the Era 3 cards are just impact of something. And we have the most science generated, so we get 15. So that is pretty schwanky. And yellow has gone from being the punching bag to having the scariest military, arguably, in the whole game. Which is funny, because it's entirely swordman. Shows how it goes, huh? That's what the Manhattan Project will do for you. So we're finally at age 4. So present times, again you lose 2 more pips from your yellow bank. We didn't lose anything, but red did lose their leader because he was an Era 2 leader. So ripperonis. And that'll mean they'll produce, a lot less culture hopefully next turn. National pride. Well, we have the most culture, so we get 5 more culture. I don't like this event. It rewards the person doing the best. I know it helped us, but I don't like that card. This is the final turn because we're now in the present times. We could play Impact of Strength, or we could Aggression for Plunder. Do we need 7 production to do anything is really the question. We can't increase our population, so everything's going to be upgrades. There's nothing in here I would probably want. So if we did Hollywood, we would get so much if we could build it, but we would need 16 production. That might be the way to go. So if we do that then. So let's do Aggression, Plunder. Let's plunder them, see if we can get 6. We failed anyway, so it's a moot point. Okay, so we're not going to take Hollywood then, because we can't afford to build it. We're going to quite literally, I think, take fast food chains. For, 16, can't do that either. I was going to say, we might take a tech just to research it in case that comes up in the endgame events as something you want to do event. So if we did that, we would want to say take tanks, research tanks. Oh no, tell you what, go back, use air forces, and we're going to use Winston Churchill's ability to do that. Because that'll give us a little bit more combat strength too. Not a lot, but, something. And then beyond that, it's a case of kind of disruption. So what can I do with my... Well, I know it says +3, but it's 12. So we want to do... Upgrade to multimedia. We can't build anything else for opera. We don't have any other population, so just in case it comes up, let's increase our ability to produce. We now have 5 left. An Air Force costs 7, and we don't have the population for it anyway. So our final 3 civic actions are just going to be disruption related. What would they potentially want? 13 and 11, so they can't get democracy anyway. So I was going to say 1, 2, 3. Take those cards. They can't do it. Actually, don't even do that. Take that instead. That way they can't use them. And now we play the waiting game. And yellow finally took some more culture from blue. Yellow, they got a ribbing early. So yes, final event. So we have 5 cards in the deck left, so it's going to go through all of them. So Impact of Variety. Each civilization scores 2 culture for each type of unit, urban building, and blue technology. We tied for the most with blue. Second event, Impact of Colonies. You get 3 culture per colony. Blue running the 4 colony game. Pretty even elsewhere. Third event, the Impact of Happiness. You get 2 culture per happy face with no more than 16, and you lose 2 per discontent worker. It is almost unheard of to see a negative number here. Blue and I were at the cap. Other two were pretty close. Impact of progress. Each civilization scores 2 culture per level of its government and special blue techs. It wasn't a very high-teching game. For me to be top of the pile there with 20 is kind of unusual. And last but not least, impact of government. Get 2 culture per civic action and 1 per military. It just rewards the best government and supplementary techs. You're usually around about 20. And red and I both 21, blue at 20, and yellows was poopy. Last but not least, 2 culture going to blue. Non-existent relevance, really. Okie dokie. So game results. I know it's only medium difficulty, but I wouldn't say we crushed it because we lost a war, but we did pretty well. I do like a game that shows us graphs. We can really go through. I like the default. So this is the culture production. So green line is how much culture you have. Well, say green line. Linear line is kind of how much culture it was organically, and then the bars behind it show how much per turn. We started off well early, and that's really what helps you exponentially kind of deal with this issue. But we were pretty much ahead of the oppositional curve all the way through. Poor yellow got bricked, so they could never really develop by the end. Also shows you your government type, your leaders, and your wonders. I didn't build that many wonders. I didn't build a late game wonder at all, which is pretty unlike me. But yeah, you can see that's when we took the leader out for yellow. They spent a few turns trying to get a fresh one. And we, ran despotism all the way until, what, 3/4 of the way through the game. And we never had an end game government. Only red did with democracy. Everyone else had a tier 2. So, yeah, not bad at all. Can't complain. So that was Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye now. Thank you for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to stick around.